Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of May the Force Be With You on Can Do Entertainment Presents. I'm going to do a quick review of Season 1 of Defenders on Netflix, the culmination of the Marvel Netflix universe, where we've had 2 seasons of Daredevil, which were both outstanding. We had 1 season of Jessica Jones, which was pretty good. We had a season of Luke Cage, which was good about halfway until they killed Cottonmouth, and then it went all to shit. And 1 season of Iron Fist, which, yeah. Okay, so the Defenders. 8 episodes, 1 season, bringing all the characters together from the Marvel street-level heroes to make the Defenders. Now, the first 2 episodes were a chore to get through. They moved really slow, kind of establishing, okay, well, here's Iron Fist and Colleen, fighting, lower level hand operatives. And here's Daredevil, who, he's no longer being the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He's just back to being Matt Murdock attorney. You've got Luke Cage, who's just finally getting out of prison and having that cup of coffee with Night Nurse. And then you've got Jessica Jones, who's still an alcoholic, smart-ass private detective. And, over the course of the first 2 episodes, they slowly start to come together, and it really doesn't pick up until the first major fight scene with all 4 of them taking on the Hand. Now, Sigourney Weaver is Alexandra, who is basically the head of the Hand, and she's outstanding. It's Sigourney Weaver, for Christ's sake. We have a whole lot of returning characters from all the other series. We've got Madame Gao back. Madame Gao is one of the fingers of the Hand. We have Benediku or Baraku or whatever the hell that curly-headed guy's name is from Iron Fist, who was training Colleen. He's another member of the Hand, one of the fingers of the Hand. And then some Japanese guy who only speaks in Japanese, and I never really caught his name in the 8 episodes. And then there's a Samadi or Sawadi, who's sort of an African warlord. He's the 5th finger in the Hand. So they're all together, and they're planning to destroy New York to get I think it's called the source or the solution or whatever that gives them all, basically makes all the 5 members of the Hand immortal. Now, Finn Jones is still basically the weak link of this series, just as Iron Fist was just a chore and like homework to get through. Most scenes involving him are just, he's almost starting to make Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker performance look like frickin' Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, this guy is just, he's not good. He really isn't good. However, there were some flickers of hope in his scenes with Luke Cage, where it was just him and Luke Cage when they first meet each other and they kind of fight. Or another really, where I thought that Finn Jones was making some progress is like the restaurant scene in The Golden Dragon, where all 4 of them are together after they've just whooped some ass on some Hand members, and they're, going through, well, what is all this about? And screw this, I'm not doing this. And then the Danny Rand Iron Fist character, he's like, oh, are those pork and are those shrimp? And, you're the blind ninja and whatever you are, talking to Jessica Jones and the bulletproof guy. And he showed personality, which is something that was severely lacking from this guy in the Iron Fist series and in most of this series. And then when it turns out, minor spoilers, that the Hand is after Iron Fist and he becomes kind of the focal point of the series, I was like, oh, shit. And yeah, it just, if they recast this guy, that would probably be the best thing. Or they've got to, he just comes, I'm the immortal Iron Fist, I'm the immortal Iron Fist. And it's just kind of, even Jessica Jones says at one point, it's like, you tell, I know, or she calls him Ironclad or something. And even Colleen's character makes a reference to Claire at some point during the show about, he runs around and tells everybody that he meets he's the immortal Iron Fist. And it's like a broke record, just like it was a broke record in the Iron Fist series. It's just, you just want to just... Now, we got a lot of returning characters, as I mentioned, Night Nurse Claire, Madame Gao, Misty from Luke Cage, and Stick, Scott Glenn's character. I mean, the supporting cast in this thing is great. Scott Glenn, Sigourney Weaver, and Rosario Dawson, and Charlie Cox is great again as Daredevil, and Mike Coulter is Luke Cage. I mean, this dude has got charisma for days, and I didn't really care for all of Luke Cage because, like I said, once they got rid of Cottonmouth, the show kind of took a dive, and when they brought in Diamondback or whatever, it just kind of was like, what the hell's going on? But he's another strong point, and Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I feel like out of the four, she kind of had the least to do in the show, and especially her scenes with Luke Cage, because they've got that whole backstory where they used to be lovers and whatever. I felt they kind of short-shifted Jessica Jones in this series. And, we had a lot of, pretty much, as I said, we had all the supporting characters from the other four shows. Foggy and Karen, and like I said, Misty was back, and Colleen Wing from Iron Fist. It's like there is a lot of characters going on. Not to mention, I haven't even got to Elektra, because, as we saw from the end of Daredevil Season 2, Elektra was dead, but then they kind of, the Hand is bringing her back to life. And Elodie Young, who I mentioned yesterday in my review for The Hitman's Bodyguard, she was really good in that. She is phenomenal as Elektra / the Black Sky. And some positive points in this are, the fight scenes are incredible, and there is a lot of action. It's just a lot backloaded into the last few episodes of the show, whereas the first two, it's all exposition and, introducing us to Alexandra, Sigourney Weaver's character, and the other fingers on the hand. And it just, for 8 episodes, which I was glad it was 8 episodes, because in most of the other Netflix Marvel shows, they're 13, and it just seems like there's a lot of, episodes are just exposition after exposition after exposition, but this was 8, but I felt like the first 2, we were kind of really retreading a lot of stuff that we've done, especially if you've watched the other shows, but it had its high points. I mean, I'm not going to say it sucked, because it didn't. I was mildly disappointed. I'm not gonna tell you not to watch it or not recommend it. I'm just gonna say that it has its drawbacks. It has its strengths and has its drawbacks. The major drawback is Finn Jones. You just can't get around the fact that the guy's just not that good, or he's not that good in this character, and it really doesn't work. And like I said, when he turns out to be a major plot point, I just wanted to beat my head against the wall. I was like, no. Anyway, out of 10, I'm probably going to give The Defenders a 6. Not the greatest rating, but, and especially where they leave off with this is going to, leads right into Daredevil Season 3. So, I'm a little disappointed. Not going to lie. All right, real quickly, The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Lucasfilm has given the green light to the Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie, which Stephen Daldry, who is behind Billy Elliot in The Hours, is going to be directing and also contributing to writing the script. Now, it's not 100% confirmed that Ewan McGregor is returning as Obi-Wan, but the guy's been politicking for an Obi-Wan movie. The fans want an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor. So, unless there's just something drastic that occurs between now and when they actually start rolling on the film, I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to get Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, Christian Harloff from Jedi Council on Collider made a really interesting point about he thought that Darth Vader should be the villain for a solo Obi-Wan Kenobi film. And, people are like, well, they don't meet again till the Death Star, and, Vader was in Rogue One. Well, he brought up an interesting point. As any really good Star Wars fan would know, there's a line in Return of the Jedi when Vader captures Luke on Endor, and Luke's doing the whole, I know there's still good in you, blah, 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 blah. And Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you do. And based on the 7 movies that we've got in the saga, not to mention Rogue One, there has never been a point in there where Obi-Wan was trying to appeal to Anakin, or shake Anakin loose from the dark side. So he made a really valid point, and I'm thinking, that could be, he might be onto something. And there's no guarantee or, nothing set in stone that this all has to occur on Tatooine, or that Obi-Wan can't leave to go do something briefly, and they've covered a lot of, some Obi-Wan stories in the Marvel comics about, watching over Luke and dealing with the Tusken Raiders. And I think it's Jonathan Jackson, I may be wrong on that, who wrote the now Legends Obi-Wan, it was called Kenobi. And it was a good book. And, a story like that, I could really, would be good. And I'm excited. And, there's been a lot of drama with the Han Solo films about, the replacing the director, and now Ron Howard's on it. But I'm still optimistic it's going to be a good movie. And now that, we've basically got confirmation that we are getting the Obi-Wan spinoff or standalone movie, I'm pretty excited. Okay, I'm a couple hours away from the League of Fools at Fairview Tavern tonight at 9 o'clock. And I'm 4 days away from Garden City, so really excited about that. Kind of pissed off I had to take out my new earrings because they just weren't working, so sorry if I'm lopsided. Anyway, so The Defenders, 6 out of 10, and hey, we got an Obi-Wan movie coming. That is going to do it for this edition of May the Force Be With Who. So until next time, keep on keeping on, and may the Force be with who.